companies and HR departments about like, why aren't you thinking about this? And that might help craft what the business really is. A lot of things are way above, way ahead of the curve in the mass market adoption, which is why it's a 10-year. It can be a 10-year bet, right? Because we're betting on those future forecasts. But I think really it's teasing out in the market is the key part of that, showing the customer needs this and has asked you for this.
There's this unique characteristic of being able to get people to want to join their parade. And that could be join the parade as a customer, that could be join the parade as an advisor, that could be join the parade as an employee doing nights and weekends with you. You know, it's just, there's this excitement and enthusiasm, infectious desire to win that great founders have. And so you can have this crowd behind you, pushing you up.
To that point of the people that will push you, hold you up. I've talked to founders where I say, I need to talk to some of your potential customers, and boy, I tell you, they have 3 people for me in 24 hours, right? And they're reaching out to me for it. So that's just mean there's a need and there's something here. And so I think that's part, having those people around you, whether they're paying you yet or not, shows them the demand and the interest and lets us validate that. I think you want to look at who your investors are. If you're kind of getting a lot of blowback on that, they may not be the investors you want, as opposed to investors that you do want on it. I think the thing is realize going in, you might get asked about it, right? They shouldn't ask you about it, but these aren't these aren't employees, right? So this is one of those systemic areas that's the challenge here. And it's not right, it's not wrong, but there's no legal contract in place, unfortunately. But expect it and have a good answer. It's going to be out there. And by the way, it happens with, no matter if you're of childbearing age or beyond. I mean, someone had an entrepreneur say, there's no right age for women. Right? So you're going to have kids, or you're either going to have kids, or you have kids. Right? And so there's never a right age. And so this is the systemic. But just have some sort of pat or funny answer to maybe let them know. I think you have to know what you're pitching, right? So it's too early if you don't yet have a well-rounded story. I guess would be if you don't quite have, if you haven't done customer validation at any level yet, it's probably too early. Other than that, we know that companies pivot. So I might be investing in a company what looks like they're going after market A, but really they're going to go after A prime, or they're actually now going after C, right? And you want founders who can make those adjustments. And so we know, no offense to the financial projections, but we also know they're not going to be valid 3 years from now. They may not be valid 6 months from now. I actually like to go in and play around with the assumptions and the variables because I want to understand how you're thinking about your business. And so that's why going and really doing that work and doing it yourself and understanding it yourself is really important.
Tell me about the last 5 investments that your firm has made. What role did they play? What sector? How far along were they? You can learn a lot by asking that, and that can just be chit-chat, get to know each other. You can also do homework. You can reference with other founders and all that. The industry is horrible in terms of the slow no. And so, if you find investors are being very responsive to your questions and getting back to you quickly, they're engaged, they're heading in a good direction. Like any investor, even if they haven't told you no and they take 2 weeks to get back to you, they're probably a no. And so in the prioritization of your time, just listen to those signals. And so, I met a founder yesterday. I was back to him last night. We're scheduling follow-up today. That's when I'm engaged. And so just make sure, if you see that, that's good.
You see this on the angel investing side, right? Well, I don't need a deal, right? Or I don't write term sheets. I think to Chip's point, ask, right? And find out the history. You can find out. We lead probably 80% of what we do out of our funds. On the angel side, I don't have the statistics on that. But we do write term sheets from our angel group as well. When we think we'll get enough capital to play that role for it. So it is something that's very fair to ask. There are a lot of followers in the market, and that's great because it's capital. But on the flip side, it means you can probably pretty quickly figure out who is actually writing the term sheets for it. And most funds are going to write term sheets, right? Because they're looking to take that big stake and they want a seat on the board. But with the angel market, you definitely do have to want to make sure you have a good, credible lead going into it.
So we're almost 10 minutes over, sorry, Abby. But we love engaged audience. Thank you so much, and thank you.